Hey guys, we're going to be comparing fractions today, and we're going to use the fraction 1/2 to help us compare other fractions. So we're going to start by looking at this comparing fractions story. So it's called Eating a Half, a Comparing Fractions Story. So it says, 4 friends each order a flatbread pepperoni pizza. When the pizzas arrive, they each cut their pizza into equal-sized pieces shown. So how many pieces does this person cut theirs into? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This person cuts theirs into 2 pieces. This person cuts theirs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 8 pieces. And this person cuts theirs into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. It says each friend eats half of their pizza for lunch. What fraction of a pizza does each friend eat? So let's look at this first guy. So he eats 2 out of how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? He eats 2 out of his 4 slices. Okay, let's look at Reagan. Well, Reagan eats 1 slice out of her 2 slices. Okay, Hector. Well, how many slices did Hector eat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hector eats 4 slices out of how many total slices did he start with? 8. And then this last guy eats 3 slices out of 6 total. So they all eat a half. These are all different fractions. So what do you notice about the fractions we made? If someone cuts their pizza into 10 equal pieces, what fraction of the pizza would be half? So look, what do you notice about these? So 2 and 4, 1 and 2, 4 and 8, 3 and 6. You should notice give me 1 second. Okay, so what do we notice here? 4 and 2, look, what's half of 4? 2. Okay, 2 and 1, what's half of 2? 1. What's half of 8? 4. What's half of 6? 3. Or even doubles. So what's 2 doubled? 4. What's 1 doubled? 2. What's 4 doubled? 8. What's 3 doubled? 6. So they said if someone cuts their pizza into 10 equal pieces, what fraction would be half? So if I would go down here and do 10 equal pieces, okay, what fraction is half? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 tenths, but also, right, what's half of 10? 5. What's 5 doubled? 10. So you should be able to figure out what a half is based off of what's half of the denominator. So even if I had, okay, 12ths, what would be a half? Well, what's half of 12? 6. So 6/12 would be a half. Let's look at the next page. Says, name a fraction of each pizza that is less than a half. Use a different numerator for each fraction. So let's look at this first pizza. All right, I want to know what's less than a half. So this is a half right here. Well, what fraction would be less than a half? So would like 3/4 be less than a half? No, that would be way over here. 2/4 is exactly a half, so what would be less than a half? Well, like this one right here. So just that one piece, so like 1/4 would be less than a half. Okay, what about the second one? This one's kind of tricky. Well, it's only cut into halves, so I can't really do one. So like 0/2 would be less than a half. Okay, what about Hector's? There's many right answers here. So here is a half. What would be less than a half? So remember, these are broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths, right? So this would be 1/8. This is 2/8. This is 3/8. This is 4/8. So 4/8 is exactly a half. What would be something that's less than a half? Well, 3/8, that's less than a half. But you could also have done 2/8, that's less than a half. 1/8, that's less than a half. So there's many right answers for that one. And this last one, this one is broken up into sixths, right? So I have 1/6, 2/6, 3/6 is a half. They want us to name something less than a half. So what would be less than a half? Well, 1/6 is less than a half. That would just be this one piece. Or I could have said 2/6. That would be both of these. Either one would be less than a half. Now they want us to name a fraction of the pizza that's greater than a half. All right, so again, these are our half marks. What's greater than a half? So let's look at the fourths, right? This is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So which one's greater than a half? There's some of them, right? It's not going to be these two anymore. I need larger pieces. So 3/4 is greater than a half, but I could have also put 4/4. Let's look at this one. Well, this is 1/2, 2/2. Which one is actually greater than the 1/2? The whole thing, right? 2/2. Hectors, these are eighths. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. Well, there's many fractions that are larger than the half, because this is, right, 4/8 would be half. So 5/8 would be more than a half. 6/8 would be more. 7/8, 8/8, any of those options are larger than a half. So I'm just going to say, sure, 7/8, that's larger. And this last one, Liad, is sixths. So name a fraction that is larger than a half. It will be any of these on this side, right? So I'm going to say 4/6. Any of those would be larger than a half. 4/6, 5/6, or 6/6. The story continues. It says 4 more friends each order a flatbread of pepperoni pizza. When the pizzas arrive, they cut their pieces into equal sized pieces as shown. So how many pieces does this guy cut his pizza into? 3. This person, 2 pieces. What about Daniel? How many pieces there? 7. And Julie, 5 pieces. So we're going to be dealing with fifths, sevenths, halves, and thirds. It says Regina eats half of her pizza. Well, what happens when the other friends try to eat half of their pizza? What do you think is going to happen when these guys try to eat half of their pizza? Are they going to be able to? Well, let's look at Marwin. Well, it says if he eats 1 slice, that's going to be less than a half, right? Because look, here's the half, and he can't really eat exactly half of his pizza by eating whole pieces, right? He would have to eat like part of this piece. Same with all these guys, right? Look, their pieces don't line up correctly. So if he eats 1 slice, it's less than the 1/2 mark. But if he eats 2 slices, it's going to be more than the 1/2 mark. Do you see that? Because this would have been half right here. So 1 slice was not quite enough to be half. 2 slices was more than the half. So like a third is less than a half, but the half is less than 2/3. 2/3 is larger than the half. All right, let's look at Daniel. Well, if Daniel eats 3 of his slices, 3 out of the 7, it's less than a half. Look, right? Because this is the half line. And it would be right in the middle of this. So if he eats 3 as less than a half, but if he eats 4, it's more than that half line. Do you see that? So 4/7 is more than the half, but 3/7 is less than the half. Can you guys see that? All right, let's check Julie. So Julie's are fifths. So if Julie eats 2/5, it's less than half the pizza. But if she eats another slice, she eats that third slice, it is actually more than half that pizza. Right? 2/5 was less than the half, 3/5 was more than the half. You notice that these ones, the ones broken up into fifths and sevenths and thirds, it couldn't be split exactly in half because they're odd numbers. What do you notice about the comparisons we made? Very similarly to what we just talked about, right? So the ones with odd numbers, right, can't be split exactly in half. Always you'll have some that are less than a half and always some that are more than a half. But the ones with odd numbers can never be exactly half. We're going to try this together in the next video.